Have you ever looked at someone and thought, they've got it all figured out? They're just naturally brilliant? Maybe you felt a pang of doubt, wondering if you're simply not cut out to be that sharp, that clear, that wise. If that's ever crossed your mind, let me share a secret the Stoics knew centuries ago: intelligence isn't a rare gift bestowed at birth. It's a craft, honed through effort, discipline, and courage. You don't need a towering IQ or a perfect memory. You need a mind trained to focus, to question, and to endure. In this video, we're diving into 15 Stoic lessons to elevate your intelligence, not just to think smarter, but to live with purpose, clarity, and unshakable strength. Stick with me until the final lesson, where a single truth could reshape how you see yourself. Ready to start this journey? Let's begin. Intelligence is a choice, not a destiny. Many of us grow up believing intelligence is like a lottery ticket: some get it, others don't. We see it as fixed, like the color of our eyes or the shape of our hands. But the Stoics saw this as a myth, a story we tell ourselves to avoid the hard work of growth. To them, reason wasn't a talent, it was a responsibility. It's what makes us human, setting us apart from the instincts of animals. And because of that, it's our duty to cultivate it. No one is born wise, just as no one is born a master sculptor. Wisdom is carved, day by day, through deliberate effort. The Stoics didn't chase genius, they chased clarity. They believed the difference between a sharp mind and a clouded one lies in one thing: discipline. Not the number of books you've read or the facts you can recite, but how often you pause to question your own thoughts. Think about it. How many times have you assumed you're not good at something without ever truly trying? Maybe you've told yourself, "I'm not a math person," or "I can't think deeply like that." But have you challenged that belief? Modern science backs the Stoics here. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, shows that your mind is like clay. Push it, stretch it, and it takes new shapes. Learn a new skill at 40, 50, or even 80, and your brain forms fresh neural pathways. Mental stagnation isn't about age or talent, it's about refusing to step into the unknown. Your mind is a garden. Let it sit untended, and weeds take over. But plant new seeds, hard questions, new ideas, moments of reflection, and it flourishes. The Stoics knew this. They wrote, questioned, and examined their thoughts relentlessly. They didn't trust their first impulses, knowing most come from habit, not truth. Have you noticed how much of your thinking is just a loop? The same worries, the same judgments, the same quick reactions. It feels clever because it's fast. But it's often just autopilot, running on outdated tracks. A Stoic clears the field every morning. They ask, what am I assuming? What's clouding my view? Imagine your thoughts as a river. Keep flowing the same way, and you'll carve a deep channel, easy to follow but leading nowhere new. To find a fresh path, you must wade into the current, feel the resistance, and forge ahead. That's where intelligence lives, not in certainty, but in the courage to explore what you don't yet understand. The wise aren't those with every answer. They're the ones unafraid to lack them. Intelligence isn't about processing speed, it's about depth. It's holding an idea without rushing to judge, standing between two truths without picking a side, choosing silence not because you're empty, but because you're listening. This isn't learned from screens or snippets. It's learned by facing yourself. Ask, what's in my control right now? That simple question, if you sit with it, unlocks a universe. It sharpens your focus, freeing you to shape your mind, your choices, your life. Wisdom isn't a spark of genius, it's a rhythm, a daily forging of the self. Read to transform, not to collect. If intelligence is a craft, then reading is one of its sharpest tools. But not the kind of reading most of us do, scrolling headlines, skimming articles, chasing facts to forget by tomorrow. The Stoics read to survive, to navigate life's storms with a steady hand. They didn't read to impress or to pile up knowledge. They read to become better versions of themselves. Most of what we read today slips through our minds like water through a net. We consume endlessly, tasting ideas without digesting them. It's like eating without chewing, filling, but it leaves you weak. The Stoics saw reading as a dialogue, a mirror to reflect their own flaws and strengths. They didn't seek new information, they sought new ways to see. When you're young, you read to find answers. As an adult, you might read to win arguments or feel smart. But the truly wise read to question themselves. They linger on a sentence, not to quote it, but to let it sink in. They pause, not to rush to the next page, but to ask, what does this reveal about me? A single line from Seneca, read at the right moment, can shift your perspective more than 100 books skimmed in haste. Neuroscience supports this. Deep reading, when you engage fully with a text, connecting it to your life, rewires your brain. It strengthens neural pathways, linking emotions, memories, and ideas. Two people can read the same book, one walks away unchanged, the other transformed. The difference? One read to finish, the other read to live. I once met a woman in her 70s who lived in a small apartment with a single bookshelf. Just 20 books, mostly philosophy and poetry. I asked why so few. She smiled and said, "These are my teachers. Each time I read them, I'm different, so they are too." That's the Stoic way, not how many books you read, but how deeply they shape you. Reading well isn't easy. It demands patience, humility, and the courage to admit, I don't get this yet. It means wrestling with your urge to move on, to check your phone, to feel productive. Try this, read a short passage, then close the book. Write what it stirred in you, not a summary, but your raw response. What challenged you? What felt true? What made you uneasy? This practice, done daily, builds a mind that's clear, reflective, and alive. The real question isn't how much have I read. It's how much have I changed. Deep reading always carries a hint of discomfort, like a muscle stretching after a long rest. That's the sign of growth. Over time, you'll read not to add more, but to shed what no longer serves you, illusions, biases, fears. That's when wisdom begins to glow, not as a spotlight, but as a quiet flame guiding your steps. Learn something new to stay humble. There's a quiet trap most adults fall into: we crave growth but cling to what we know. We want sharper minds but avoid the awkwardness of starting fresh. The Stoics called this complacency, and they saw it as a thief of intelligence. A mind that repeats itself daily, dodging the unfamiliar, slowly rusts. To stay sharp, you must return to the place of a beginner, clumsy and unsure. Learning a new skill isn't just about adding to your resume. It's about reshaping how you think. When you step outside your expertise, say, a lawyer learning pottery or a teacher studying code, you're not just gaining knowledge. You're rewiring your perspective. A doctor who learns to paint doesn't just create art, she sees her patient's emotions more clearly. A mechanic who studies history doesn't just learn dates, he understands the patterns behind human conflict. This isn't about mastery, it's about practice. The Stoics didn't learn to perform, they learned to grow. Every new skill is a mirror, reflecting your patience, your resilience, your willingness to fail. When you struggle, you're forced to ask, can I keep going when I'm bad at this? Can I be kind to myself when I stumble? That's where intelligence takes root, not in success, but in persistence. Most adults haven't learned anything truly new in years. They say they're too busy, yet spend hours scrolling. They claim they have enough skills, not noticing their minds are dulling. Mental stagnation creeps in silently, through lost curiosity, fear of failure, and the comfort of routine. The Stoics fought this deliberately. They sought anything that woke the mind, a new craft, a new question, a new way to see the familiar. Try this, pick one small skill you've never tried. Maybe it's calligraphy, chess, or cooking a dish from another culture. Spend 10 minutes a day on it. You'll feel awkward, maybe frustrated. That's the point. In that discomfort, your mind is stretching, forging new connections. Leonardo da Vinci didn't become a genius by staying comfortable. He studied anatomy, engineering, and art, not to excel, but to understand. His curiosity kept his mind alive. If you feel resistance, that's your comfort zone speaking. It's not your enemy, but it's not your ally either. Growth doesn't live there. Start small, track your progress, and watch your mind shift. You won't become an expert, but you'll become sharper, not because you know more, but because you see more clearly. Rewrite your inner story. Beneath every thought you have lies a deeper story, a belief system steering your life without you noticing. The way you talk to yourself, "I'm not good enough, I always mess up," shapes your reality. Two people face the same failure, one says, "I'm a failure," the other says, "I'm learning." Same event, different stories, different lives. The Stoics called this mastering perception. You can't control what happens, but you can control how you interpret it. This isn't about ignoring pain, it's about choosing its meaning. A rejection doesn't mean I'm worthless, it means I need to refine my approach. A mistake doesn't mean I'm dumb, it means I'm human, and I can grow. Your brain doesn't care about truth, it responds to repetition. Tell yourself "I can't do this enough," and it becomes your reality. Neuroscience shows that self-talk shapes neural pathways, locking you into patterns. If you say "I'm not creative," your brain builds a wall around creativity. But say "I'm learning to be creative," and you open a door. The Stoics weren't optimists, they were realists. They didn't believe everything would work out, they believed you could choose how to face what doesn't. Try this: when you feel stuck, write down the thought driving your emotion. "I'm bad at this." Then reframe it: "I'm still figuring this out." It's not about lying to yourself, it's about redirecting your mind. This practice, rooted in modern psychology's ABC model, activating event, belief, consequence, echoes Stoic wisdom. The event doesn't cause your reaction, your belief about it does. Two people lose a job, one believes "I'm doomed," and they spiral, another believes this is a chance to pivot, and they act. The difference is the story they tell. Intelligence begins with questioning your inner narrative. Are you your labels, shy, lazy, average, or are those just stories you've outgrown? Start listening to your self-talk. Adjust it like tuning an instrument. With each small shift, you're not just thinking differently, you're becoming someone new. Train your mind with small challenges. Your mind is your most vital tool, yet how often do you train it? We obsess over our bodies, diets, workouts, skincare, but let our minds drift on autopilot. The Stoics lived deliberately, seeking small challenges to keep their minds sharp. They didn't wait for life to test them, they tested themselves. Mental exercise isn't about puzzles or brain games. It's about breaking routine. Brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand. Take a new route to work. Ask a friend, "What's on your mind today?" And listen without interrupting. These tiny acts disrupt autopilot, forcing your mind to wake up. The modern world lulls us to sleep. Apps remember for us, algorithms feed us answers, noise drowns out silence. Without questions, the mind dulls. But those who train daily notice what others miss: patterns, assumptions, unspoken truths. I knew a teacher who, every week, tried something new: knitting, stargazing, writing haiku. She wasn't mastering anything, she was keeping her mind alive. "I don't want to fossilize," she said. "I want to stay curious." Ask yourself, did anything confuse me today? If not, seek it out. Read something that challenges your views. Argue against a belief you hold. Rewrite a story from a different perspective. These aren't tasks, they're rebellions against mental decay. A sharp mind isn't built by doing more, it's built by doing differently. Master your emotions, master your mind. The smartest people aren't always the most knowledgeable, they're the calmest. In a crisis, they don't unravel. In conflict, they don't lash out. This is emotional intelligence, what the Stoics called self-mastery. It's not about suppressing feelings but understanding them so they don't control you. Emotional intelligence has 5 pillars, all rooted in Stoic practice: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Self-awareness comes from reflecting daily: what did I feel today? Why? Self-regulation is pausing before reacting: write an angry email, then wait 10 minutes before sending. Motivation means acting for values, not rewards. Empathy is seeing others' perspectives, not just your own. Social skills mean speaking with purpose, calming tension with a single sentence. A colleague once shared a story. During a heated meeting, her boss exploded over a mistake. Instead of arguing, she stayed silent, later addressing the issue calmly. Her composure saved the project and earned respect. That's emotional intelligence, not winning, but navigating. Emotions aren't weaknesses, they're signals. The Stoics didn't ignore them, they listened, then chose how to respond. In a world that thrives on reaction, staying centered is rebellion. Start small. When you're upset, pause, breathe, and ask, what's the best version of me in this moment? That's where true intelligence begins. Feed your mind with what you eat. Your mind lives in your body, and what you feed your body feeds your mind. The Stoics knew this, treating their bodies as partners in their pursuit of wisdom. You can't think clearly if you're sluggish, foggy, or drained. Yet most of us eat without asking, how does this fuel my mind? Modern diets, sugar, processed foods, chemicals, starve the brain. It uses 20% of your energy daily, craving nutrients, not junk. Omega-3s in fish boost memory. Probiotics in fermented foods stabilize mood. Green tea sharpens focus. A meal of greens, nuts, and lean protein lights up your mind, a burger and soda dims it. I met a writer who swore by his morning oatmeal with berries. It's not just breakfast, he said. It's how I start thinking. Science agrees, diet shapes cognition. Small changes, adding vegetables, swapping snacks for nuts, make a difference. You don't need a diet overhaul, you need intention. Think of every meal as a brick in your mental temple. Eat like the person you want to be. When you fuel your body well, your mind clears, your mood steadies, and your decisions sharpen. Freedom, the Stoics said, is wanting what strengthens you. Start with your plate. Sharpen your mind through dialogue. Wisdom doesn't grow in isolation, it thrives in conversation. Not shallow chatter, but deep dialogue that challenges your views. The Stoics valued debate, not to win, but to uncover truth. Marcus Aurelius welcomed criticism, saying, "Show me I'm wrong, and I'll change." The smartest people don't avoid disagreement, they seek it. Why? Because a mind unchallenged grows arrogant. A friend who questions your beliefs is a gift, even if it stings. In a debate, discomfort signals growth. Instead of defending, ask, "Why do you think that?" Instead of arguing, listen. The goal isn't victory, it's clarity. In the workplace, those who rise don't just answer, they question. They invite feedback, exposing blind spots. Neuroscience shows calm debate activates reasoning centers, while defensiveness shuts them down. Try this: find someone you disagree with and talk. Don't persuade, just understand. Your mind will stretch, not because you changed it, but because you expanded it. Wisdom lives where iron sharpens iron. Surround yourself with people who echo you, and your mind dulls. Seek those who challenge you, and it shines. Embrace discomfort as your teacher. Growth doesn't come on easy days. It comes when you're tested, by failure, rejection, or doubt. The Stoics didn't fear discomfort, they saw it as a forge for wisdom. Progress requires friction. No pressure, no diamond. When you learn something new, confusion is a sign of growth. Neuroscientists call it desirable difficulty, challenge that stretches without breaking. Like lifting a heavier weight, it builds strength. A harsh critique at work isn't a setback, it's a chance to ask, what can I learn? A tough conversation isn't a loss, it's a mirror. Most avoid discomfort, thinking it means something's wrong. But the Stoics flipped this: if I'm uneasy, I'm where I need to be. Try this: at day's end, write 3 moments that unsettled you. Ask, why did they bother me? What can they teach? Over time, you'll react less and learn more. Discomfort isn't punishment, it's privilege. It's the path to outgrowing yesterday's self. Wisdom isn't comfort, it's the courage to keep moving through the fog. Train your body to elevate your mind. A sharp mind needs a strong body. The Stoics treated their bodies rigorously, knowing a sluggish frame dulls thought. Seneca wrote, "The body must obey the mind." Modern science agrees, exercise is brain medicine. Movement oxygenates the brain, boosts memory, and lowers stress. Regular exercise increases gray matter in decision-making regions. A 20-minute walk can clear mental fog, a month of workouts can lift depression. I knew a lawyer who, after years of burnout, started swimming daily. It's not about fitness, he said. It's about thinking clearly again. You don't need a gym. Walk briskly each morning. Stretch during work breaks. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. The Stoics didn't wait to feel ready, they began. Your body isn't a burden, it's the vessel carrying your mind through life's storms. Neglect it, and you lose the wheel. Unlock creativity through art. Intelligence isn't just logic, it's feeling, seeing, creating. Art, music, painting, poetry, touches a part of the mind logic can't reach. The Stoics valued beauty, not as luxury, but as a path to clarity. Epictetus urged listening deeply, a state art demands. Music activates memory and creativity centers. A painting can shift your perspective without a word. Winston Churchill painted to quiet his mind, Einstein played violin to solve problems. Art doesn't give answers, it clears space for them. In a world obsessed with efficiency, art feels indulgent. But it's where wisdom grows. Try this: listen to unfamiliar music daily, not to like, but to feel. Or doodle without judgment. Art softens the heart, making decisions not just right, but humane. A mind that feels deeply is a mind that thinks clearly. Live what you learn. Knowledge without action is a half-life. The Stoics didn't care how much you knew, they cared how you lived. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." Learning without applying is like collecting unlit torches. Neuroscience shows that passive learning barely engages behavior centers. Real intelligence is in action, staying calm under pressure, keeping promises, choosing silence over impulse. A manager I knew read Stoic texts daily but snapped at his team. One day, he paused mid-meeting, took a breath, and listened. That small act was wiser than any book. Try this: after learning something new, ask, how can I use this today? Read about gratitude. Thank someone. Learn about focus. Silence your phone. Action doesn't need to be grand, it needs to be real. Wisdom isn't what you know, it's the heat you carry through life's cold. Question everything. In a world drowning in information, the danger isn't ignorance, it's believing lies. The Stoics questioned relentlessly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A crowd's opinion means nothing if they don't know the truth." Blind faith, in media, politics, even yourself, is intellectual slavery. Confirmation bias makes us trust what's familiar, not what's true. Socratic questioning counters this: who's saying this? What's their motive? What's the evidence? What if I'm wrong? When you hear a claim, don't nod, dig. Nutrition science, for example, shows meal timing matters less than calories, despite popular myths. Questioning isn't cynicism, it's freedom. Write down one belief daily and argue against it. Over time, you'll trust less noise and find more truth. Intelligence isn't having answers, it's asking better questions. See your hidden patterns. Your mind runs on autopilot more than you think. Anger, doubt, procrastination, they're not random. They're patterns, carved by years of habit. The Stoics knew this, urging self-observation. Epictetus said, "It's not events that disturb us, but our opinions of them." Neuroscientists call this default mode thinking, automatic responses saving energy. But unexamined, they trap you. If you grew up criticized, you might assume I'm not enough. That's not truth, it's programming. Pause when you feel a strong emotion. Ask, where's this from? What's it based on? Try this, next time you procrastinate, don't say I'm lazy. Ask, what am I avoiding? Name the fear, failure, judgment, success, and you can rewrite the script. Awareness turns automatic into choice. Intelligence isn't knowing more, it's seeing yourself clearly. Believe you can change. The greatest Stoic lesson is also the simplest: you can change. We often live as if we're fixed. I'm not smart, I'm not creative, I'm just me. But those are labels, not truths. The Stoics rejected them, seeing life as a process of becoming. Behavioral science shows small changes ripple. Walk daily, and you sleep better, eat wiser, feel stronger. You're not a driftwood in life's current, you're a swimmer. Start, and you'll improve along the way. A janitor I met read one book weekly. I don't want to guard my mind's door, he said. He wasn't bound by his job, he was free in his growth. Intelligence isn't a score, it's depth, carved by choices. Doubt yourself? Good. You're not done. Every day is a blank page. Rewrite yourself, not with grand gestures, but with quiet, steady steps. The Stoics didn't seek perfection, they sought progress. And so can you. These 15 lessons aren't just ideas, they're keys to a sharper, stronger you. Intelligence isn't a gift, it's a journey. If this stirred something in you, hit like to say, I'm in. Subscribe for more ideas to rethink your life. Thank you for joining this path. I'll see you on the next step.